occupation of Iraq. Support for Bush's war is drying up by the day, and Congress is feeling our pressure to act. Right now is the time that we have got to turn up the heat to put an end to this criminal war in Iraq. To do that, we're going to need your energy, your passion, your commitment, and we're going to need your money as well. For the past 4 years, UFPJ has been galvanizing the people's opposition to this war, and we've been doing it on a shoestring budget. But now we need your help because we got to step this up. We got to step it up to end this war. So today we need you to please dig deep, give generously to support the ongoing work of UFPJ. Make the most generous contribution that you can today. Volunteers have red buckets. Please dig deep and put your money in those red buckets. They have yellow vests. And if you're back there in the back by 4th Street, there's a rainbow banner. Drop your money at the rainbow banner. For those of you who are watching at home on C-SPAN, visit unitedforpeace.org and make a donation today, because together we're going to end this war in Iraq, and we're going to come back in June and end Israel's occupation of Palestine. Thank you.
Like our opposition to the occupation of Iraq, which is U.S. funded, U.S. backed, and serves U.S. interests, we're also against the occupation of Palestine, which we feel is intrinsically linked to what's going on throughout the West Asian region. We feel that the U.S. funding of Israel to occupy the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem, as well as its funding of Israel to replicate and continue its apartheid policies, which discriminates against its own citizens and creates two sets of laws for two sets of people, is not a coincidence, but is connected to the U.S.'s larger vision of what it would like to do with the Arab world in the region at large. And so we're here to join and to bring people to join the anti-war movement that doesn't have a problem with opposing the war in Iraq, but for some reason has a knee-jerk reaction to saying that Israel is just as culpable as is the U.S. in its occupation of a land, of its displacement of a people, and of its repression of an entire nation. And so within this message, we're saying we need to come back in June. We're trying to mobilize for a June 10th day on Washington to say that 40 years is enough of occupation and that 59 years of displacement is more than enough, and we need to end the occupation now, and we need to end apartheid now. And if the U.S. government is not going to end its aid to Israel, then we will end it ourselves with divestment movements that are already underway in the UK, in Ireland, in Norway, and here in the U.S., as well as South Africa, who have joined this movement, where the trade unions have joined this call, politicians in South Africa have joined this call. Everybody is on board that this is apartheid, and like apartheid, we need to divest. And that divestment movement is not going to wait for U.S. foreign policy, and it's not going to wait for the Israeli lobby to come upon itself to realize that, okay, maybe apartheid is wrong. We're going to divest. We're going to divest now.